Dear friends in Christ, welcome to this special edition of our Faith in Action podcast. Today we have the privilege of sitting with a couple whose life is as moving as it is inspiring. Chief Daniel and Mrs. Helen Makava. 35 years ago, on the day of their wedding, the parents of Chief Dan Makava were involved in a fatal accident which eventually led to the loss of both. For any average individual, this is enough to shake, if not break, their faith. But the story of Chief Dan and Mrs. Helen Makava is one of resilience, perseverance, and an unshakable trust in God. Today's interactive session with them is one that they get to express the joyful moments, the sad moments, but also lessons that will serve as a faith-building experience for each and every one of us. So I want you to grab your seat as we journey through the life history of Chief Dan and Mrs. Helen. Especially for Chief Dan, we're going to explore his entrance into the major seminary, his painful withdrawal, his coping with grief, as well as, in the African setting, when something like this happens to you, the various conspiracy theories and all that, and also the 25 years of marriage, as well as the 25 years memorial anniversary of his parents. This is going to be a very sweet ride. So once again, Chief Dan and Mrs. Helen, thank you so much for having us. So Chief Dan, can we meet you? Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Thank you very much, Father. I think it's a pleasure having us on your program. And my name, as you have rightly mentioned, is Daniel Makava. I hail from Apawa, Uzairue, in Itako West local government area of Edo State. I had an humble beginning. My parents, my dad was a soldier, and he rose from under rank to the position of a staff sergeant. My mom was a teacher, and both of them had great passion for education. And my dad made sure that the children went to school, and we are where we are today.
Right, thank you very much, Chief Dan. So let's start from the beginning of that fateful day, your wedding day. At what point did the news of your parents' accident and your father's passing reach you?
Yeah, thank you very much. The wedding was on the 9th of September, and they left home here, and we are coming to Abuja on the 7th of September 2000, which is a Thursday. Our kid brother, my dad's last child, Richard, was also in that vehicle. Then there is a lady that was staying with us, Salome from Benue State. She was also in that vehicle. My younger sister would have been in that vehicle if not for the Notre Dame sisters that were also coming. They came to the house, carried her, so that she will direct them to my house in Abuja. So while they were coming, just before they got to Abaji, the driver, it was a station wagon, the driver ran into a pothole, had a punctured tire, and skidded off the road and went to hit a tree. The tree was what stopped the vehicle from going into the ditch. But before the tree could stop it, they've somersaulted for like 3-4 times. And that was on the 7th of September, year 2000, a Thursday. My dad later passed on that day, but my mom was still alive. But the news got to me in Abuja the second day, because at that time there was no phone, no GSM. So my younger brother, after receiving treatment, still, my parents told my dad before he gave up, and even my mom told him to continue and go and meet us and tell us what has happened. He got to the house on a Friday. So I was in the church. We were having rehearsal for the wedding for Saturday, with the catechists at Holy Rosary Catholic Church, Wuse, Zone 2, Abuja, when they came and called me that my attention was needed in the house. So immediately we rushed over the rehearsal. I went back home. I saw him with blood stain on his face, with a cut on the forehead. I took him outside the house and asked him what has happened. He told me and gave me a piece of paper with an instruction from my dad. I have done my best. Continue from where I stopped. That was what was written. I said, okay. And I asked him, have you told anybody that Daddy has passed on? He said, no. I said, okay, just be calm. My wife, one of the friends, who is a nurse, came from Benin. So I called her. I told her to treat him and put him to sleep. And myself and my best man went out, just took a stroll. When we came back, it was at that stroll we had to discuss and face reality. And we agreed that the wedding would continue the next day. So when we came back, after like 2-3 hours, I told them that, although I lied, but I just told them that I've gone to see them. They are in the hospital and they are okay. And they have given their blessing that the wedding should continue. And the next day, we did the wedding. And it was after the wedding, we came back to the house. I broke the news to them, my siblings, and my wife. And I've already arranged for a bus. So they all entered the bus and started coming home. On the 20th of September, while we were preparing for the burial of my dad, my mom passed on. So we had to bury my mom first, then the next day we buried my dad.
Wow.
Since then we have been on it.
Oh, Chief Dan, I must say you're a very strong man, because on the day of your anniversary, I looked at the program, and I discovered, among the photo splash, the day of your wedding, you were still smiling and waving. How were you able to do that? Like, going through that at the moment, and you are still smiling, it takes a whole lot of grace. I must commend you for that. And also, in our African setting, when tragedy strikes, people, they don't stop at the facts. There's always this conspiracy theory. You would hear rumors like, maybe the wife brought bad luck, or others will say, Abi, has he used his parents for rituals now? Stuff like that. Did any of these white stories come to you? Did you hear any of such rumors?
Yeah, a lot came.
So which one stood out?
A lot came. One was that I used my parents for ritual. So it didn't really bother me, because my response then was that, thank God that it was my parents. I did not use another person's parents. Then secondly, at that time, I just got a job with the federal government, and I've not worked I barely worked for like a year. So I had no money. I was staying in my father's house. So I was telling them, where this money, make it quick up. So I was also anxiously waiting for the money that I've used my parents for. But a lot of things were said. My wife will also share her own. She heard so much. But I want to say that I think with my stand and also the impression the community and the family had about me, not one person came to tell me to my face on what they were saying. It was all hearsay. This person said, I'll just wave it off. The only group that had the courage were my immediate family, led by my auntie, who she's late now, my dad, their last born. They came to the house that they wanted to have a word with me. I stood there, no problem. They sat down. And I listened to them. They now said that they've never experienced anything like this, where both father and mother will just go like that they want to go and check who is responsible and the cause of it. I said, is that so? They said, yeah. I said, you people go and check now. They said, no, that they know that I will not go because of my seminary training, but they need money. I said, money for what? He said, to buy goat. I laughed. Goat. He said, yes. Have I seen goat to eat that I'll give money for goat? Good enough, the door was wide open. So I just stood up. I said, all of you get out of this place. And God took control. They all walked out. It was only this same woman that now mentioned and said, I told you people before, he will not agree. He's very stubborn. He's the one now that have killed my brother. So I now replied, I told her, I said, do you think you like your brother more than my father? That he is. I like him, I love him. So if anybody should wish that he should be with us, I think I'm in the best position. So I think that was just it. But after that, we have tried to manage the situation till date.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, back to mommy. As a new bride at that time, did you also hear these stories? And how did it make you feel? You know, just getting into marriage and a whole lot is happening at the same time. What was it? First of all, did you hear? Then what was your reaction?
Oh, thank you very much. It was not an amazing thing. By this time, 25 years ago, I was battling with whether this marriage was going to still continue or not. Because a lot was said. A lot. And you know, then, just coming into the community, the language was strange to me. But luckily enough, I had friends because I schooled in Auchi. So some of my classmates are from here. So they were the ones who were telling me what people were saying. A lot was said. I had a lot of things. So in fact, my first 1 year of marriage, I was thinking it will not hold. But thank God for grace. And one particular person that stood out and encouraged me, that was Sister Pat Johnson. When I told her I was quitting the marriage, she told me no, that I cannot quit. That I have to fight this battle and fight it to the end. And with prayers, I think God did it. And today, we're still together to the glory of God.
Wow, this is such an inspiring story. So, in this first part of our discourse, this will be the final question. Now, when you look back for Chief Dan and also for our mother here, looking back at all that has transpired, what can you say that these experiences has taught you about life, about your faith, and for those who seem to be passing through a whole lot, especially at critical points in their lives where they begin to feel God doesn't like them, village people are after them, this one, that one. So what consoling words can you have for them?
For me, I will tell them whatever you want to do in life, hold on to God, persevere, and also have a strong faith. No matter what you face in life, put God first. I think with God, you will always overcome. And just know that people are going to say a lot of things. They are going to antagonize you. But once you stand firm in the right path and you hold on to God, you'll be victorious at the end.
Thank you very much. Mama, any last words for us?
Yeah, for me, to them out there, I believe that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Once you have your God, trust in Him, and believe in Him, everything will come to be a testimony and thanksgiving at the end. Because the Bible says that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but He will vindicate them. And that's what I'm telling people out there, that no matter what you face, the Bible did not say that we're not going to have cross. We are going to have cross and trials. But in perseverance and belief, God will see them through. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mama. I like the parts you just quoted, the scriptures you just quoted. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Chief Dan, your afflictions don't plenty. you know, when I was going through your profile, especially the parts, this is the second part I want us to focus on. And you went to the seminary and you were, okay, I don't know if you had to withdraw, you withdrew your own. This is one of the things I want to ask now. So did you leave the seminary on your own or were you asked to leave?
I didn't leave the seminary on my own. I went through the minor seminary.
Okay.
Yeah, I went through the minor seminary, finished the minor seminary, went to Ekpoma, St. John of the Cross for my spiritual year. Then I went to Bodija. I successfully finished the philosophy training and I started theology. And we then, Benin City Diocese, before it was upgraded to an archdiocese, we had the highest number of seminarians. And so it was only those in theology class that were being posted for pastoral work at that time. And we waited for the vocation director to come with the posting. And when he came, we had a meeting, all the seminars, we had a meeting with him that evening or that night. Reverend Father Victor Darlington was the vocation director. And he started calling out names of the seminarians and the parishes they are posted to. When he finished, one of the seminarians now asked that there are some persons who were eligible to go for pastoral work and their names are not called. So he now said, sorry, I forgot that if you did not hear your name and you are supposed to go to pastoral work, that there is no issue. You don't have any problem. When people go back to the diocese, just go to Bishop's office and you will see your posting there. So we finished the meeting, and that night, we now decided to come together, those of us that didn't hear our name, about 7 of us. We said, let's go and see him. We went to see him, the room where he was staying, one after the other. Anybody that goes in and comes out, I think I was either the second or the third person to see him, we will come out with the same experience or the same answer that there is nothing wrong. Just go to the diocese. You don't have any issue now. You don't have any problem. So we left. And the morning, because it was a day before our vacation, that morning, while we were tidying up things, cleaning the hostel, arranging our luggage, so that after breakfast we'll depart, the senior prefect called me and said the rector wanted to see me. I went to see him. Then it was Monsignor John Aniagu that was the rector. So I went to see him, and he told me that he really doesn't know why some of us are not posted, but when I get to the diocese, whatever it is, whatever answer I get, I should let him know. So I told him, no problem, Father, I would get back to you. So we prepared, and we left the school. And when we got to Benin, that was the period when the elevation of the diocese they were preparing for it. We went to Bishop's office, the secretary. Then it was Reverend Father Paul Eno that was the secretary to the bishop. The first day we could not see him. The second day we came, we sat there morning till evening, we couldn't see the bishop. The third day we decided to go and see the new vocation director, Father Eige. And when we met Father Eige, he said he doesn't know anything about the posting. That Father Darlington concluded the posting with the bishop before he traveled abroad for studies. we went back to the bishop court. It was at that point that Father Paulino now told us that the bishop is busy with the arrangements for the elevation of the diocese to an archdiocese, and he really doesn't have the time to attend to us, so we should just go. They will send for us later. And being in my 6th year, at that time, I knew what it meant when they said they will send for you, and you are not posted. It means you have to just go and stay in your father's house. So I came back, I went to Bodija to go and see the rector. I told the rector, this is the step we have taken, this is the effort we did, but we couldn't see the bishop. He now told me, he said that he called the bishop. He is not happy with the response that the bishop gave him. That the bishop told him, if you are a bishop, go and ordain them. And that he wasn't happy with it, so he had already prepared a letter of recommendation for me to go to the secretary and collect. So I went to the secretary. I collected the letter from the woman, and I saw it. It was addressed to then Archbishop, now Cardinal John Onaikon. That was the first time I had to travel to Abuja. I've never been to Abuja before, but I had to take that letter, and I got to Abuja. I met with Cardinal Onaikon, and I gave him. He opened it, he read it, he said, oh, what a wonderful recommendation. Do you know the meaning of incardination and excardination? I said, yes, it's grace. He said, okay, you give me 1 week. With this recommendation, I think I'm ready to take you, but let me talk with your bishop. I told him, thank you. So I went, stayed with my younger brother, who was then staying in Pape. When it was exactly a week from the day I delivered the letter, I came back. And Cardinal Nikon was coming out from his office with 2 priests, a reverend sister, and 2 lay faithful. They were just coming out and talking. Immediately he saw me. He didn't, as I was just greeting, he just raised his voice and said, you people, you will never be patient. Your bishop said he told you to wait. Why not go and wait? I'm very sure you must have gone to your rector and told him lies for him to give you such a beautiful recommendation. Those words sank into me. That was the first and only time that tears dropped from my eyes for leaving the seminary. And I told myself, I said, but when you were in the seminary, you have always told your colleagues that God has given you 100% opportunity in life. You are only using one. So why are you sticking to this one? If it doesn't work, why not take another one and try? You still have 98 left. At that point, I made up my mind that I was done with the seminary, and let me try another vocation. But when I got back home, I made arrangements for youth service. They now told me that we had a priest from Philippines who came to Bodija for sabbatical, Reverend Father Carpolin. So Carpolin is a Jesuit priest. So the Jesuits from Benin had come to my village in Afawa to look for me while I was in Abuja. So I had to, with that respect and honor, with the effort they have made, I went to Benin to see them. They now said Carpolin has told them about me that I should come and join the Jesuits. So I would just have to do 18 months of spiritual year, then conclude my theology, and that would be done. That would be okay. I told them no, that I've already made up my mind of not continuing with the priestly vocation. Let me go and try another vocation. And that was it. So I went for my youth service, and as God will have it, I got a job after that, and I'm okay today.
Wow, this is so touching. I can't really say I understand how you felt at that moment. I can only imagine, because I think I had an experience in the seminary, where I had to go for treatment. I had surgery on my eyes, and for 1 year I was asked to stay at home to recover. And when it happened during the Easter break, so when others resumed, I was alone, and that was where trouble started. So I came for Mass one day. I could not serve because I was on dark shades that period. So I was just seated at the back. And next thing, I overheard some people saying, now wow, this one don't even last though. They don't quick spell them. Things like that. And I felt talk say no go last. It's what they do guy. Those kind of stuff. So I can feel the pain that an ex-seminarian goes through. And that's why I want to ask you this question. Did something similar also happen to you when you left the seminary? Like people talking as usual, drawing reasons why you left and all those things. Did you hear some of those things?
I really didn't hear of it. I didn't, because immediately I left. When I went, after seeing the Jesuits, from there I went to Ibadan. I activated my service, my call-up. So I really didn't stay that long. I went to Lagos, and getting to Lagos, I stayed with a very good and respected Afawa person, Barrister Evaristo Soshonebo. I stayed with him for like a week. Then I went to camp. It was in camp. Nobody sent you. They didn't know I was an seminarian. But for the discipline that I've already imbibed or attained in the seminary, I was able to cope. But there were a lot of scandal which I encountered. And it took me time to start processing those things in my head. One of such was the distribution of condom in the camp. And people were queuing. So I just folded my hand. I was looking at them. What are they going to do with it? For me, it was a big scandal to go and queue to collect condom. For what? So I kept quiet. Another thing was, I grew up in the barracks. My father, as I mentioned earlier, is a soldier man. So when they divided us into platoon, the person that was made to head platoon 4 was a giant, tall man, young guy. But the voice was not there. So the man that was taking us through started testing all the guys. When it got to my turn, immediately I shouted, "Preparation!" He said I should come out. I became the platoon leader. Now, as a platoon leader, I did not last for 2 weeks. I became the leader of the troop. Because among the platoon leaders, they would pick one leader. So I was picked, and I became very close to the commandant of the camp. Now, the scandal there was that being in front, leading the parade, and you are marching in the parade ground, you will see used condom flying around. I was wondering, what is this? For me, I could not process it. And I had to try those 3 weeks just to adjust. And I was telling myself, I hope the world is not like this. With time, we adjusted.
This is a very, very, very nice testimony and experience sharing. Now, you made mention of something that I think the vocations director said when you go to the bishop's office, you'll be told where you are posted to. And it seems the way life unfolded, you were posted to the outside world. Because knowing you as a person and seeing how committed you are, despite the fact that you did not make it to the priesthood, you did not abandon your faith, and in fact, you've been able to touch a whole lot of lives, even as a lay person. So I want to ask, many ex-seminarians, they struggle with bitterness when they are told to leave the seminary. Some even turn against the church, some turn against God. Now, what word of advice can you share with them, especially those who feel they were unjustly asked to withdraw?
Thank you very much. I think that brought me to another principle which I hold on to. And I tell people that I was first a Catholic before I entered the seminary. I did not enter the seminary and then became converted. No, I was first a Catholic. So if I did not make it as a priest, I would still remain a Catholic. And God really was on my side that when I left the seminary, after my youth service, when I got a job and relocated to Abuja, I had a lot of persons, especially ex-seminarians, that came to stay with me. And I tell them, as a Catholic, either you are a seminarian or not, once we wake up in the morning, first we must say our rosary. I have not seen, except very extreme case, that I will allow you to remain at home without attending Mass on a Sunday or on a day of solemnity. I will wake everybody up, let's go to church. So they know. So at the time, we had 11 persons that were staying with me in a 3-bedroom flat. 2 of them ex-seminarians, and they already had their masters. So, but thank God, gradually they got jobs and they all moved out, got married, and they are happily settled. So I always tell them, and my word of advice to them is that, please, if you know that you cherish your faith and you are a Catholic, a devoted Catholic, see that first. It's not all Catholics that will be priests. Among the many, few are chosen. So for us that are not priests, it's for us to support the mission. And you can support this mission in different ways. You must not support by being a priest. You support with your talent. Support with your gift. So I think that is my advice, and that is what I am begging God to help me to do more.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Mommy, I know we have been dragging you into this conversation. I want to drag you again. Now, this one, I don't know. Are there times that you will just look at Daddy with an eye and just say, boy, thank God say they spare you. Or they not spare you now if you not be my husband. Are there times you look at and you just imagine those kind of things?
There's not been, thank you very much. There's not been really times. Okay, there were times you look at, you say, okay, sometimes you don't know what God has planned for you. If he didn't leave the seminary, I would have still been married. For leaving the seminary, God has destined him for me, and we eventually got married. So everything worked for those who believe and trust in God. I'm not happy that he left, one, and I'm also happy that he left because it also benefited me and also benefited him that he left. In fact, there was a time Bishop Junior made a statement and said, maybe for his sake, they will allow married men to become priests in the church. And I told him, I said, Father, if he becomes, my Lord, I said, if he becomes a married priest, then what will I become? And we all laughed about it. So it's all for good and to the glory of God.
All right, thank you. I've gotten one new phrase from Mommy now. Sometimes I'm happy that he left. Sometimes I'm not happy that he left. Mommy's a very diplomatic person. That's a nice one. So back to Daddy. I know. We do not, as Catholics, do not believe in anything like the reincarnation, though, or coming back again. But if things were to start again, with these experiences you've had from the two sides of the coin, and you have the same experience, and you are given a chance to start over again, will you still attempt going to the seminary, or you will just say, "I beg, ma, just go direct"? Would you still want to give it a try?
I think part of my principles, which my wife knows very well, is I hardly regret whatever I've done. I just believe it's part of the experiences in life. For me to now sit down and be saying, yesterday, I will just tell you straight. Yesterday, this thing happened. I think tomorrow I will do it like this. I will not sit down and start regretting over it. So on the basis of that, if I'm to come again, I think I will be a priest, and I will be a very good one, because I want to prove some people wrong. But as on a lighter note, just know that if you come into the world for any vocation you have chosen, put in your best.
All right. Thank you.
Any vocation you choose, please put in your best.
All right, thank you very much, sir. There was this smile that mommy gave when you say, "I'll become a priest." She was like, "If I catch." So, mommy, let us drag you back into this gist again. So, if he was to start all over again, would you still want him to try the seminary, or you say, "Come, we they go"?
If God calls him a second time to go to the seminary, I will give him the best support.
Wow, this needs a standing ovation. Oh, that's a very good one. Thank you very much, Mommy and Daddy. Now, Daddy, this is for you. For seminary formators and the church itself, what is one thing you wish they could reflect on when it comes to the withdrawal process of seminarians?
Let me use the experience of a very good friend. Please permit me not to call his name, but he's a priest today, and I always tell people that if you listen to his sermon and you are not converted, you will find it difficult to be converted, because I love his sermon. He's strong and goes straight to the heart. When we were in the seminary, he was sent back home for 1 year probation. And after serving the 1 year, he came back to the seminary. And after like a year or two, I'm not too sure now, they expelled him. Then when he got back to the diocese, his then bishop, who is a cardinal now sent him back to the seminary and said, "I know that he is not perfect. He is human. That is why I have sent him for you to train him. If he was a perfect human being, he would not need the seminary. All I will just need to do is to ordain him. Please, put him right." And they started building him again. And part of the things he had was this funny punk that he carried on his head. But when you see him, you will just know that this one was not ready for the priesthood. And they told him before entering the gate, "Go and barb that hair." He went and cut the hair. Then, at the end of each session, they will call names for the seminarians to go and see the rector for one advice or the other, the areas they think you should work on. So when they was also called, and when he got to the rector's office, he was one that now shared the experience with us. He said the rector asked him and said, I think this is the second time I'm calling you to warn you on this particular thing. He now told the rector, he said, no, rector, sir, father, this should be the fourth time, not the second time. The rector said, get out, just leave my office. But today, he's a priest. Some persons just need time to mature. But what I will just tell the formators is that as human beings, we have our strong points and we have the weak ones. Once we notice the weak ones and there are areas that can be built upon and improved upon, let's give room for them to work on it and see if the person is ready to change and ready to grow. That is one. Then two, it's really not a good experience when one leaves the formation, either the seminary or the diocese, without a reason. So our superiors should just please call such a person, have one-on-one talk with the seminarian involved, tell him where he has not lived up to expectation, and I think with that, even if the person is lying to himself, tomorrow when he leaves and comes out of the place, his conscience will tell him, at least, you were told you did this, and that is why you cannot continue.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Now, as we intend to wrap up, Mrs. Helen, you've walked this path of faith alongside your husband. So for those out there who are facing their own storms and are on the verge of giving up on God, what word of encouragement would you give to them?
Thank you very much. We have a parable from where I'm coming from, that when the lizard leaves tree, evil hands will get hold of the lizard. So what I'm telling people is, if you run away from God, who will you hold on to? You have to hold on to your God. That's only your only strength and your survival. So don't give up on your God. No matter how bad it is, God is still our God, and He will never abandon us. So, in as much as God has not abandoned us, let us not abandon God and keep hold on to Him. He will never.
All right, thank you very much, Chief Dan. Your autobiography, Between Duty and Destiny, captures your story as a testimony of God's triumph over evil. As we round off, what final message would you like to leave with everyone listening or watching?
Yeah, if you go through the autobiography, you see, after writing the story of whatever has happened, I try to draw lessons. Then at the end, there's a chapter that talks about God taking charge and being in charge of whatever has happened. So my lesson or my message to our young ones is that no matter the challenge you face in life, be steadfast, be prayerful, and hold on to God. Definitely you will be victorious.
Wow. Once again, thank you so much for having us, the Directorate of Social Communications, Diocese of Auchi, here today with you. For our viewers out there, this indeed is a very inspiring story. Each and every one of us at various points in time, we face downtime. But the downtime we face, the challenges we face, they are not meant to break us. Rather, they are meant to make us. For every challenge, there is a testimony waiting. So today, we also pray for each and every one of us out there that is going through a whole lot, that God will give us the grace to overcome. And just like them, we'll also have our own testimonies that will be faith builders for the next generation. This we ask through Christ our Lord.